Good morning, students. We will continue with the topic government budget. Already out of this index part, I have explained you the meaning of government budget. The objectives has been explained to you. Now today we are going to study the third part, that is the components of government budget. So let's have a look. The meaning, the objectives, if you remember. Now today we are going to study the components of government budget. As you can see that there are two types of components of government budget. That is, one is known as revenue budget, the other is the capital budget. Revenue budget further divided into two parts, as you can see, revenue receipts and revenue expenditure. Capital budget further divided into two parts, capital receipts and capital expenditure. Now this is very important to make here itself clear what is the meaning of the term revenue and when do we use the word capital, in what context are these two words used. Revenue word is used when something is regular and recurring in nature. Like for example, if I say, if government is paying salaries to all its government employees, so it is paying on a regular basis, that is monthly basis, so that is revenue in nature. And government is paying the salary, so that is an example of revenue expenditure. Similarly, government receives taxes. Now taxes, government is receiving on regular and day-to-day basis. It is receiving taxes. It can be, quarterly, yearly, or any cycle it may be. But the taxes are received by the government on a regular basis. So that means it is received, and on a regular and recurring basis the government is receiving it. So it is a revenue receipt. Similarly, when we talk about capital budget, so capital budget is what exactly when we talk about? Capital means which is non-regular and non-recurring in nature. Now, when we talk about capital receipt, suppose the government of your country has taken a loan amount from International Monetary Fund. So taking loan from IMF is a capital receipt. Why? Because government is receiving that amount, and moreover receiving loan is non-regular and non-recurring in nature. So that is the reason it is an example of capital receipt. Similarly, when I talk about capital expenditure, so government is making various expenditure on your economy which is non-regular and non-recurring in nature. It can be a developmental expenditure. Suppose government has spent money on the construction of flyover in any particular area of your country. So that is an example. The government is making expenditure, and moreover that construction of flyover will not be done on regular or day-to-day basis, or not, it is non-recurring in nature. So that is the reason it is related to capital budget, and because government is making expenditure here, so that is the reason it is a capital expenditure. Now moving ahead, students, we have the meaning of various components of government budget here. I'll just explain it to you. Components of budget refers to structure of the budget, and two main components are revenue budget and capital budget. Revenue deals with the revenue aspects of the government budget. It explains how revenue is generated or collected by the government and how it is allocated among various expenditure heads. And revenue budget has two parts, already been explained to you, revenue receipt and revenue expenditure. Similarly, capital budget deals with the capital aspect of the government budget and consists of capital receipt and capital expenditure. So these are the components. Now we talk about the type of budget receipt. Now students, I am classifying the budget components of budget into two broad categories. That is, one is the receipt of the government, and the other one will be the expenditure of the government. So first I'm going to talk about the budget receipt of the government. The budget receipt is classified into two parts, that is revenue receipt and capital receipt. That means government can receive the amount which can be of revenue nature as well as capital nature. Now, what does revenue receipt means? Which neither creates liability nor reduces any assets. And capital receipts, which either creates liability or reduces assets. Now, when you look at the meaning, in the first meaning, revenue receipt, I say that it is neither creating liability nor reducing assets. And in the second meaning, that is a meaning of capital asset, I am using the word instead of neither and nor, I'm using the word either and or. That is which either creates liability for the government or reduces assets for the government. That is known as capital asset of the government. Now, we talk about only this part. That is, I'm going to explain you today only the capital receipt today. And in the next session, I'm going to explain you the revenue receipt as well. So today we will focus on only capital receipt. And before I explain you this component, I'm going to tell you what are liabilities and what are assets. Now students, liabilities are what? Suppose I have taken a loan amount from anybody, let's say person X. Now I am liable to repay that loan amount. So that becomes my liability to repay the loan amount. So that is my liability, right? An obligation which is being created upon me. What are assets? Assets are generally in the form of fixed asset, which is my wealth, right? So for any firm or if a government of your country is purchasing any fixed assets, it can be cranes. Let's take an example. I'm talking about assets that suppose your government of your country has purchased cranes for the construction of flyovers. So these purchase of crane, it retains with the government for many respective years. So these cranes are the example of assets for the government of the country. So today we are going to understand the capital receipt. And I have taken 4 examples here to make you understand what is capital receipt. Number 1, students, it either creates liability or reduces assets. Now, the first component of capital receipt is recovery of loan. Now, recovery of loan means suppose your country's government has given a loan amount to any other country. Now, after giving that loan, it is recovering that loan. That means it is receiving it. So it is of capital nature. It is a receipt. Now, why capital receipt? Because it is non-recurring and it is non-regular in nature. Second thing, recovery of loan reduces your assets. How it reduces assets? Let's take an example to understand that. Because when you have, somebody recovery of loan. Now, country X has taken loan from you. Now, when country X has taken loan from you, against that loan, it must have kept some security with you. So, when you are recovering your loan amount, so ultimately what will happen? That security in the form of asset which has been kept with you, you are going to give that back as soon as you recover the loan. So your assets are reducing. So out of 2 reasons, which either creates liability or reduces assets, the reason for recovery of loan, that why it is a capital receipt, because it reduces assets for the government. This will be the reason. Now I talk about disinvestment. Now what is disinvestment? Disinvestment means when the government sell its equity holdings, that is equity shares, to the private sector. That is known as disinvestment. Now, in this case, shares are considered as assets when the government sells these assets. So, what happens is that the asset is an asset for government. The shares are the asset for the government. So, disinvestment leads to reduction in the asset. So what will be the reason? Disinvestment is a capital receipt because it reduces assets of the government. The third point is borrowings. Borrowings, why it is a capital receipt? Borrowings is number 1, capital in nature because it is non-regular and non-recurring in nature. Number 2, borrowings creates liability as well as it also reduces assets. It creates liability because it becomes, your liability to repay the loan. It reduces your assets because when you take loan amount, you have to keep some security against it. So that assets gets reduced. Now, students' provident fund or any small savings of people in the post office savings bank account. So post offices are related to the government. So any provident fund are, the account which are created by the government. So these type of amounts are being deposited with the government. Now it becomes government's liability to repay this amount. So these are capital receipts because it creates liability for the government. Students, even if I talk about small savings, like, in post offices, people with small savings, they deposit their amount. So post office is an organization which is owned and operated by the government. So in this case, it becomes the liability of the government to repay the amount. So that is also a capital receipt. So it creates liability. This will be the reason for the same. So I hope you understood this topic, capital receipt, and the examples very well with the reasons, because in the board examination generally what type of questions come, that there are certain items which are given to you and the question asks you that classify the following items as revenue receipt and capital receipt, also give reasons for your answer. So when in front of you borrowings that the government of your country has taken a loan from World Bank, so you will classify it as capital receipt, and the reason which you will write is because it either creates liability or reduces assets. So this way you have to write the answers. The worksheet has already been broadcasted on the WhatsApp group, so kindly keep doing it. Thank you so much.